Hi. All right. So tonight we're going to do a guided meditation and we're going to talk a little bit about listening through the noise. I'm just going to wait a minute or two as people jump on. Hi, Jen. How are you? PNW. Hi. We're going to be working on your video tonight on myth or mystery. So tonight after this, at about 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, will be Myth or Mystery. But until then, we're going to, let me just check my mic really quick. Camera, audio. Oh yeah, I want to change this to. Okay. Can you guys still hear me okay? Just making sure you can still hear me. PNW, you're excited to see what we have to say later. Hopefully, all awesome things. Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, if you guys don't already follow PNW, please do so. They're really cool paranormal group. They get all kinds of really great evidence when they do their investigations. And thank you. Glad the mic's working. All right. So let's talk. When we're looking at, let's talk about listening through the noise. So let's talk a little bit about what the noise is, first of all, right? So the noise is what goes on in our own head. It's our negative thoughts. It's also just the chatter, right? The brain tends to chatter. The noise is also society, pressure, family, friends, spouse, children. There is a lot of metaphorical noise, and that noise is and can drive us to make decisions that aren't balanced or conscious or clear. And so we want to get to a point in our lives where we are able to communicate our answers, communicate what it is that we need without the noise disturbing that or affecting and influencing that. So, how do we do that? So, I was talking to a client the other day, and she was telling me about how they're looking for an apartment, and she read the reviews, and there was 80 reviews, and all 80 were just awful. And this was over a period of time. And she's like, and so I just said, of course not. Of course, I don't want to live there. There's no way. There's no way. But I really love the place. I love the way it felt. I loved everything about it. And so I said, well, let's talk about this for a minute. The reviews are the noise, right? Now, I'm not saying that she should or shouldn't live there. But when we make a decision, we need to make a decision based off of what's best for us intuitively, logically, financially, not just based off of the noise. And the noise was these 80 reviews. Okay. Now, I'm not saying to ignore 80 reviews. I'm not saying that. What made this conversation interesting and notable about how the noise was consuming her was that all of the reviews were saying the same thing. And then the apartment manager came in and said, hey, listen, I would fix it, but I can't because of zoning or because of this or because of that. And so I said, all right, so let's stop for a minute. The noise is yelling and screaming, but the park manager has already said, let me give you an answer to this problem. All right. And it may not be the answer you want, but here's the answer. And so when I said, focus on the answer. Okay. So you take his answer and then you take what you're feeling and you take what you've read and now you make a decision. But don't let the noise of 80 reviews overwhelm and dictate you and your choices. And we do this more often than not. We do this because society has set standards so long ago and are so deeply inbred in us that a lot of times we don't even realize we're being influenced by society. Same with family, same with spouse, same with children. So, how do we get underneath this noise and start making choices and decisions that are solely aligned with our higher consciousness and with our integrity? How do we do that? Because if you're making a decision or a choice that aligns with your higher consciousness and your integrity, it will inevitably be the right one for the rest of the family or for anyone else involved. I'm just reading a comment. Love this. We as humankind are so easily influenced by things and people around us. Exactly, exactly. And now listen, I am too. We all are, right? This is why I speak about the 5 steps to consciousness. This is why every day my focus is meditation, yoga, exercise, therapy when I need it, journaling, and a really healthy, clean plant-based diet, because I want all of my senses and my connection to my consciousness, my connection to spirit to be so clear that when I'm in a moment that doesn't allow me to go and meditate on it, I can trust that I can get underneath that noise. That noise also being our emotions. Those sometimes louder than any other noise is our emotions. And emotions are important and we want to use our emotions. And I by no means am saying don't feel, but when we're in situations, even if it's just a work scenario and you're just fired up and this has been something bothering you for a long time, right? All this stuff in that moment, because you've been practicing and conditioning yourself to be the healthiest and clearest you can be, you can make a decision that is a more conscious driven decision than a react response or reaction that comes from emotion and a reaction that comes from the noise. So we have to condition ourselves, just like for a lot of you, you hear me say this all the time. An athlete isn't an athlete just on game day. They're not an athlete just during the Olympics. They are conditioning every day on some level up until game day. And that conditioning is what puts them into game day mode. So on game day, they don't have to worry about checking all the boxes because their body instinctively is conditioned to check the boxes. And that's where we want to get to as human beings, to where not perfection, because just like an athlete, sometimes we can check all the boxes and we can still flop on game day. And same with us, right? We can check all the boxes. I just did that the other day and I was like, God, I could have done better. I should have done better. Like, what happened there? Right? Yeah, I'm human. That's what happened. And then there's times where I'm like, man, that that worked. Like I was really able to get underneath the noise and just really and even no matter how like difficult the situation is, you really do take a minute and go, wow, that felt really good. Like I was really able to do that. So we have to condition ourselves. It's not something that just happens out of nowhere. It is a practice. Okay. So 5 steps to consciousness is a lot. So you start with 2 minutes a day of meditation, 5 minutes a day of meditation. You start with yoga 1 time a week. You incorporate exercise. It doesn't mean you have to go to the gym. It can be walking, hiking, whatever, right? You incorporate therapy when you need it, or journaling, or talking to your friends, or some having that person that you have that outlet for and that outlet with. And diet, doing the best you can every day to really focus on what you're eating, because all this stuff affects your ability to be intuitive. It affects your ability to respond, not react. It affects your ability to get underneath the noise and feel what's going on. So take 3 deep breaths for a minute. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow it out. 2 more times. Last time. And I want you to think about for a moment, close the eyes, and I want you to think about for a moment a situation that you really need help with, where you're really getting caught up in the noise. You're feeling really emotional over it. You're feeling really frustrated. Maybe you're listening to outside stories about it, or you're just, been had your opinion on this situation for a long time and you're not ready to change that opinion. So let's just sit with that scenario that you have that you need some work with for a moment, okay? And I just want you to focus on your breath. Start to deepen your breath. Start to lengthen your breath. Start to slow down your breath. And I want you to notice if, as you're holding this story, this experience you want healed, is your stomach tightening up? Are your shoulders lifted? Is the breath shallow? Just notice that. And as you notice it, breathe deeper into it, okay? Even if you have to really take a conscious deep breath, just breathe into it. Allow the shoulders to pull away from the ears. Wiggle the fingers and the toes to make sure they're not tense. Relax the legs. Relax the arms. Make sure the eyes are just gently closed, not squeezed tight. Relax the cheekbones. Relax the jaw. Notice if the tongue is stuck on the top of the mouth or if it's relaxed. And just continue to breathe into this story that you need healed, this situation that you need healed. If you feel yourself getting caught up in it again, just come back to my voice. If you feel like you need to get angry, do it. If you feel like you need to cry, do it. Just notice how far you let yourself go into this story that you're holding. And notice how difficult or easy it is to actually pull yourself back out of the story and back to my voice, back to your breath. And just one more time, I want us to review the body, allowing the shoulders to relax and release. The eyes aren't squeezed tight, they're just gently closed. The jaw relaxes, the tongue releases, and the cheekbones drop. The legs and the arms feel weighted, and the body starts to sink deeper into the earth, allowing yourself to let go. And in that letting go, maybe you feel a little bit more. Breathe here. Slow down the breath. Deepen the breath. Lengthen the breath. Slow down the breath. Deepen the breath. Lengthen the breath. Allow the body to first feel weighted, heavy, and just sinking deep into the earth. Allow the body to round or roll over if it needs to. You don't need to sit up straight. Lay down. Just let it go. Feel gravity take over so you feel yourself weighted, heavy, succumbing to gravity. sinking deep into the center of the earth, and then feeling the earth hold you. Feeling Mother Earth hold you. How does this feel? How does this feel? Now I want you to feel a little bit lighter. Feel a cord lifting you from your chest and from your crown, and it lightly and gently lifts you, and you begin to feel some levity. So we're experiencing the gravity of the human body and of Earth. And now we experience the levity of our consciousness, of our connection to spirit. Allow yourself to be gently lifted up. And as you're lifted from this silver cord that leads through the chest and the crown of the head, we feel ourselves relax a little bit more, lighten a little bit more. And the mind slows down and the emotions relax. And you feel your breath. You hear your breath. Placing the right hand on the belly, you now feel the breath moving with the belly. The belly expands out with the breath, and it gently pulls in on the exhale. Just allowing the breath to move at its own pace, but now you feel the body and the breath together. Notice the belly underneath your hand and feel the belly moving with your breath. The belly is our connection to the outside world. It's our connection to society. Wherever you're at, exhale all the air out. We're going to inhale through the lips for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently hold the breath, but relax the body. Now exhale through the lips for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the lips for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the breath for a moment. Relax the breath for a moment. Let it move at its own pace. Be here for a moment, just hearing your breath, listening to your breath. All right, wherever you're at, one more time, exhale all the air out. For a count of 4, you're going to inhale through the nose. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath, but relax the body. Hold the breath, but relax the body. Exhale through the lips for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, inhale through the nose for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath, but relax the body. Exhale through the lips for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let everything go. Be still for a moment. Just be here. Just listening to the breath. And just allow yourself to feel the floor beneath you. All right. Just gently wiggling the fingers and the toes. Gently opening the eyes. And allowing yourself to come back. Just to be still for a moment with the eyes open. And allowing the body to be okay with the calm. Allowing your consciousness and your mind to communicate together, not separate. One isn't stronger than the other. Although if we want one to be a little bit louder, let that be our intuition and our connection to spirit. And when we look at listening beyond the noise, after we have put ourselves in meditation and we have put this situation, whatever it is that we're struggling with in our meditation, the guidance will come, not necessarily in the meditation, sometimes much later, days later, maybe in our dreams, at any given time. Hi, Patricia. But knowing that intuition will come when you are ready for it, it doesn't always come when we ask. So Sunstone, take a look at this card, see what it feels like for you. Maybe some of you are familiar with stones and you know what sunstone is. I do not know what sunstone is. If you know, you are welcome to share and I can share it with the group, but I will read it from an intuitive place. It actually came in upside down. So that's telling me that for some of you, this situation that you're dealing with, you aren't seeing everything clearly. You are missing pieces, and you aren't taking these missing pieces into consideration, or you're not letting yourself know them or understand them because it would change. You've been pretty adamant about where you stand on this situation, and this might change it, and that would be hard for you. but it's the best thing for you because for some of you, whether you're listening live or after the fact, it's time to resolve this conflict in your life. It shouldn't go on any longer. It's not serving anyone. And it's almost like you're avoiding the lesson instead of really allowing your integrity to step in and say, okay, I need to see this differently so I can learn and move on. And the other card is orange sapphires. So again, if anyone knows or you want to look these up after, usually we have Denise here and she's really good with these. What does that card feel like for you? What does that feel like for you? For me, for you guys, this card is about expansion. It's about the more you know, the more that you can expand. It's about expanding the mind. So, again, it's like another validation of you needing to expand your not just your thinking on the situation, but expand your intuitive sense so that you can see all angles. See, when we are moving from a place of consciousness, we will see situations from all angles and not logically from all angles, but intuitively from all angles. And that is a very different perspective that can align with logic and ultimately they will work together for sure. But a lot of times when you see something, when you are seeing all angles intuitively, not a lot of the times, all of the times, when you are seeing a story or a situation from an intuitive perspective and you're seeing all angles, what happens is you have compassion for the other people, no matter how much you hate them. You will feel this moment of compassion and understanding of what is happening in their experience. I'm not saying that their experience is right. I'm saying you will feel them. And that is how you will be able to see it from a different perspective. All of this is subtle and intuitive. And this is what changes, not to sound crazy, but it is what changes the world. Because imagine if everyone was dealing with their problems with themselves and with others from this conscious place, this depth that is therapy, meditation, exercise, yoga. Like if you're always putting yourself in that state of mind, you're eating right, so you're feeling good and you're able to hold the energy from spirit that guides you. When we're all moving from that place, I'm not saying it's conflict free. I'm saying that we're all starting to see conflict from all angles and resolution is clearer, quicker, easier, and with compassion. I don't like when people ask you to just step into any scenario with compassion. It's like, yeah, of course we should, yes, but if you weren't conditioned for compassion, and I mean that from someone who wasn't conditioned for compassion. I mean, we are innately born compassionate, loving individuals, but life happens and that gets buried. It took me a long time to start moving from a place of compassion and a lot of work, a lot of conditioning. And and so when we get to that place, you know, can I move from compassion first? For the most part, yes. But I understand the work that I have to put in to be able to do that every day. And so I don't like just throwing around and telling people, well, lead with love, lead with compassion. Yes, yes, true. But it takes so much work. It's like someone saying, "Go you've never trained a day in your life and go run in the Olympics." It's not possible. You will hurt yourself, you will lose miserably, right? And then you blame yourself for doing something stupid. So, if you're looking to lead with compassion for a certain situation or just in general, then you have to lead with compassion for yourself first, which means I have to heal first. I'm holding A, B, or C. What am I doing every day that is showing compassion for myself? For me, showing compassion for myself every day is non negotiable. And that is yoga and meditation. It just is the one thing that I can do for me that just fills me and reminds me. And I do it every day. And some days is longer than others. Some days is super short because I don't have time. But because I condition enough, I can remember. And then, of course, there's other things like my animals and exercising and all of that stuff. But the true self care and self love and compassion that I show every day that's non negotiable for me is yoga and meditation. Full stop. And that's not specific to me, that is specific to all of us. All right. Nice work tonight, you guys. At 7 o'clock, 1 hour from now, I'll be back live, Myth or Mystery, a fun paranormal show. That's not as deep. It goes deep in different ways, but we have a lot of fun. We laugh, we give away prizes. There's paranormal trivia. Please come back and join us. But good work tonight. And then I'll be back next week at this time or catch the replay.